By my intimate apparel. Pre-Kardashian Kanye, my rhyme play immaculate. Same cadence as DOC. Pre-accident. That's all. Yeah, that's somebody on my level. I don't know who it is, but I know it's somebody, you know what I mean, barred up.
Black Thought getting barred up. Black Thought, he's always heavily consistent.
Then he say I'm fat, I'm the fat
When you talking about the technicality, Black Thought doesn't use a whole lot of similes, saying this is like this, like that, like that. To me, that knocks you down a level. If you're constantly doing, I'm hot like this, like
that's
this,
the
and this is
only
like
thing
this.
you're doing, because that's only supposed to be step
And that's
one.
similes. You understand? A metaphor is different. So you talking about rappers, you're judging your metaphors. If you're saying I'm doing this like this, it's not a metaphor, it's a simile.
Shout out to that man.
It's a comparison. That's all it is. You're comparing something to something else. You know what I mean? Like, or as you say, like, you know, break fast, like aha. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. Like,
that's a metaphor.
Yeah, I mean, it's a comparison.
Like, yeah, that's a metaphor.
But I can still use like. So just because I use like doesn't automatically not make it a metaphor.
I say it's a higher level of technicality when you can do that without using like. Or not using ads.
Well, yeah, that's when you get more highly advanced in it, like a fabulous type shit, like Fab. You know what I mean? That Fab shit, that was like level 1. It's like I'm too old for punchlines, type mentality, to where you develop on your level of MC-ism, if I can call it MC-ism.
Okay.
You know what I mean? On that type of level, to where you upgrade your level. And it's like I said, man, this MC shit is like fucking martial arts. It's like being a black belt. Okay, like Bruce Lee, you got to be the master of all these styles. You know what I'm saying? And you get to a certain level to where now you can create anything in rhyme, in story form, and you can compare it, you know, like you said, even without being simplistic, using like things of that nature. You can break it down in a whole nother different level. You know what I'm saying? So
my bad, I gotta skip your ads. I hate fucking YouTube and the ads.
Ads and shit, man.
Back to the Black Thought Freestyle.
I'm here.
Funk Flex. What's good, y'all? Everybody listening and shit. What's good, y'all? Random ass shit. You see a bunch of people clicked in.
You
talking about hip hop. We about to watch listen to Black Thought Freestyle.
You know what we do in
That's
this
also
position.
he brought to me about Black Thought. I'm like, Black Thought is number 8 on my top 10.
Yeah, I ain't even really
I'm sorry for your loss. It's somebody dead in the
fuck
car.
with Black
It's probably
Thought
one
in the
of yours.
beginning. Quite
The writing
frankly.
all across the window in the walls. Whether it was true or false, we shouldn't have got involved. Remember, we walked past the teacher, take the chalk and laugh. We wrote punishments. I will not talk in class. Now it's pistols punishing people for talking fast. And all these
pistols
innocent
punishing people
bystanders
for
is
talking
hauling ass.
fast.
I hate to say I told y'all, but I told y'all things fall apart when it's in a too weak to hold y'all. I'm just collecting what you owe to my old jaw. You about to get swooped down on and stole on. Fools swear they wise. Wise men know they foolish. But we was headed for the web even before computers. I never thought you give me a reason to do this. Cain and Abel, Jesus and Judas, Caesar and Judas. I see intruders avert your eyes.
Come on, man.
Keep out of the hood, circumcised. How could you sleep? I thought you always
Out of the
wanted
hood,
to ride.
circumcised.
And yo,
What
you
the
heard the line.
fuck? This
Everybody
nigga
plays the
is
fool. Well, I'll
that's
be that
super
exception
metaphors,
to the
man.
rule.
Yeah,
The principle
this
that
is
hand
super
delivered lessons to
metaphors.
the school. I was making
Yeah, I
major
mean,
moves.
it's
My
double
dollar deja
metaphors,
vu.
triple
My mission
metaphors.
when my ambition was brandishing a tool to be an icon. Wearing slippers made of python. Getting mine quicker cause I'm slick as a pipeline. Transporting the
Slick
oil.
as a pipeline.
Tribulation and toil hit the operation.
That
But I'm
shit is
back
slick
in the
with
soil.
oil.
Got my crown tilted, my gown quilted. Silk with cashmere. Burn the room down in a minute. Built it last year. Newsflash, I dodged the bullet that killed the cashier. My homie told me to come with him to the mass shit. Them brothers said don't go from written bars filled with rage to primetime television and your gilded cage. Then forget it's people in the world still enslaved. I barbed wire my wrist and let it fill the page. Gunfire
That's
and flare,
hip-hop.
sirens glare. I'm in an iron chair with people who care.
That's
Don't
the-
get the lion's share. When I
thought,
don't give a fuck, then I ain't
the
fair.
content.
I'm on a higher
I mean,
tier
like I
with people
said,
getting
Dr.
money like
Seuss
the
was
finest
rhyming.
said. Catch the herald, I'm fresh chop and bevel rap on a doctrine level. So F. Scott Fitzgerald, maybe I'm the new Rakim, maybe I'm Fat Pharaoh. Undergarments of armor be my intimate apparel. Pre-Kardashian Kanye, my rhyme play immaculate. Same cadence as DOC. Pre-accident, maybe my acumen's on par. Wukuji rapping them, give me the proper respect. Motherfucker, we back again for a couple things we lost in the fire. The drive, the desire to perform on a higher plateau. I'm at that show, lost in the mire, wondering how we got so far from inspired. Look, when photos with sepia tone and record players was something you would keep in your home. Yo, the traveler, the meaning of Tariki was known for the exemplary performance, uniquely his own. I made the 21 pound for summer newfound religion. When money's put down, it's only one sound to make OGs and young lions equally proud to listen. The secret amalgamism, my algorithm, coming
like
from
he's
where only kings and
alien
crowns
or
permitted
something.
the darkness.
Good God. All right,
just
we
so
gotta
many
stop
balls,
that.
man. It's so many, man. We could be sitting here for hours.
Good God. Black Thought,
hours.
man. Yeah, and he went off for a good 8 straight minutes. It's like, and here's the thing that we was talking about, though. I personally listened to the new Migos shit, right? I listened to new Migos, and it's like, SL said the same shit. They're working on everything else outside of lyricism.
Right.
All of the actual technicality of delivery, of flow, of breath control, voice control, all that shit. They're actually studying the art form. They're actually talented in that aspect. But they're not thinking at all about the content that they're spitting.
No,
they're not thinking about the significance that their words may have on people that hear them. They're not thinking about that at all. And hip hop is supposed to have that shit. That's what true hip hop is.
Well, hip hop is about what's being said. Like I said, man, Dr. Seuss was rhyming, but that don't make it hip hop. Like, you had people that was rhyming before, you know, but you know, it's the people that try to say, you know, Muhammad Ali, other people earlier in the 20th century, you know, a lot of back in the 20s was talking like that. A lot of pimps was talking. It was natural to rhyme. It was slick talk, but but that doesn't make it hip hop. What made it hip hop was we're speaking from a condition and we're rising up. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? We're being more, we're being more aware, and we're having a voice. Hip hop was all about having a voice, man. So like, that's it. So the voice
of the voiceless, the voice
exactly,
of the people that's not being heard.
Right. Of lyrics. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, everybody, you know, the party aspect came because that's naturally what everybody gravitate towards. But the next level would be the content of what you're saying.
I'm gonna say this though, and this is one of the reasons why I put Black Thought in my top 10. Is because as he's not really like, the Roots is not like popping in the hood, in the streets and shit. Niggas ain't listening to Roots in the streets. It's more of a mainstream type, Grammy type level shit. But Black Thought has never once lost where the fuck he came from, what the fuck he represents. Regardless of what crowd he's rapping in front of.
Right.
He's always gonna hold on to that essence. And he's never gonna let that go.
Hell yeah.
And that right there, that level of honor in your music and what it is you're doing. He even said it in the freestyle. I'm not gonna forget about the ones that's still enslaved.
You never gonna
forget. I still remember. I'm Black Thoughts. I would never lose that consciousness ever. And that's one of the reasons why I hold him in my top 8. I mean top 10. I think he's number 8 on my top 10.
Yeah. I'll put Black Thought in my top 20.
Top 20,
you know what I'm saying? Because I would, it's the one thing with Black Thought, everything is there, but it's no solo project.
No solo project, really.
And a solo project makes everything. You know what I'm saying? That makes everything.
Does Black Thought need to come out with a solo project one time?
Well, but think about it.
With a whole bunch of different producers.
But think about it. If you're an artist, he got all this heat, but the heat is going to everything but a collective thought. A solo project is your ability to have a collective thought as an artist and paint a picture for that particular moment in time. And if you're a real MC, you should be able to do that and make it classic. And that is what counts you to be classic.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't really be classic really without doing that. Don't matter how nice you are.
You can't be classic without a classic album.
Right. It's dudes in jail right now, in prison right now, that's nice as hell, that you'll never hear.
Absolutely.
That you'll never hear. You know what I mean? So that's the you have to be able to put out that classic record. And I think it's in him. Now, is it in him? I believe it's in him, but he has to do it. It's just similar to Jay Electronica. Like, I believe it's in him, but this shit ain't coming out.
But Jay Electronica has nowhere near the amount of material out as Black Thought. If you wanted to, there are DJs who have put together best of Black Thought mixtapes, so you can hear what it was sounding like, because he has enough material that's out there. Jay Electronica has nowhere near the amount of verses that's out, and the shit that I heard from Jay, he could be a top 10 in my opinion. He could be a top 10. It's just I haven't heard enough. I've heard some super dope shit that's on a level beyond what these other dudes is doing. I heard that shit, but I need more. But it's like, why? Why don't we have more? That's crazy.
More from who?
Jay Electronica.
Well, because he shelved. That's why we don't have more from him. He shelved. You know what I'm saying? And he shelved by his label. What's his label? Rock Nation, correct?
Wow.
So there we go. You know what I'm saying? There we go.
I mean, they trying to push Rhapsody.
They trying to push, but it's almost like through the Me Too movement, through this whole woman movement, it's like shelving her wouldn't even be a good look. They got to push all the women more so, but he has to be able to, you know what I mean, like put out a buzz a little bit more so than we know that he's nice. You know what I mean? We know that he's nice, but a lot of dudes is nice, man. Like lyrically, a lot of dudes is nice, but it's a whole nother level. You can put that album together. Like Illmatic is nice. Like, you know what I mean? Like the 36 Chambers is classic. You know what I mean? Ready to Die. Like all those was collective, you know what I mean? Collective songs for that moment in time, but it was still classic where you can play that shit today and that shit's still relevant and it still hits you. You know what I mean? So I think that's really.
I think that's another question I'm gonna ask on my Facebook eventually. Give me your top 5 classic albums, and not just artists, but classic albums. I need top 5 classic albums.
What is
classic
it, man?
albums to me? Yeah, classic albums.
Yeah, man. We probably gonna do that for definitely for a future broadcast.
Quality, Beautiful Struggle. To me, that's a classic. There's Kanye, maybe the first Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
The first Kanye, classic. What are the classic albums? Jay-Z Black Album, to me, is classic. Nas Illmatic, classic. Biggie Ready to Die, classic.
Classic.
The first Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, classic.
All that shit's classic. Classic.
And that's
Big
the thing.
L.
That's, see?
You know what I mean? The first Big L, 95, Lifestyle of Poor and Dangerous is classic. Even The Big Picture is a classic.
See that we have.
But it was crazy.
I didn't think Big L had a classic album. I think if he had a chance to do.
Lifestyle of Dangerous, you know why it was a classic? Why? That was the first time you heard Jay on that shit. That was the first time Cam was on that shit. Big L was the leader, was the forefront of that shit. If Big L would have survived, you know what I mean, his time, they said that the month prior to his death, after his death, he was about to be signed to the Rockefeller. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was trying to get Big L and not Biggie. The reason why Diddy got Biggie is because he could not get Big L. Because Big L was already had his joint with Columbia. He already dropped the Lifestyles of Poor and Dangerous. Like I said, that had Jay on it. Niggas ain't heard of Jay. You know what I'm saying? And to me, Big L, all his shit was his perspective and how he came off was a little bit more precise than the other rappers during that time. Even though that you heard was another track, a classic, and you could play that. It was so many other MCs that was introduced because of that. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely consider that a classic, especially like the content he was saying. And you know what I mean? You have to go back and, you know what I mean? We definitely gonna have to revisit that one. But yeah, I believe that one. Now the Big Picture, I can kind of, you know what I mean, I would definitely debate you with, because that was after he died, and it was kind of like they were just throwing tracks together, you know what I mean? But it was still Big L. But it was like some Biggie stuff, man. You know, you only had 2 albums from Big. Really, you just had one. Because he died with the, you know, before the next one. It was the same thing with Big L. You know what I mean? You only had one. But like you said, Ready to Die was a classic. To me, Ready to Die, Lifestyles of Poor and Dangerous, I mean, it was back and forth. You know what I mean? Because Big L, as far as the technicality, like Big L, you can tell how he came off. It was much smoother. It was much more crisp. His punchlines, everything was like premeditated. You could tell. And he didn't come off sloppy. He came off like he practiced this shit. This nigga know what the fuck he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like somehow, what the fuck? This nigga Lamont Coleman, Big L. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? And then this nigga, you know, killing rap shows and killing rap contests, and
all right,
there you go. But
so, all right, so I want to do this. I'm gonna break this. Shout out to everybody who's still listening and shit.
Hell yeah,
a lot of people click. I'm gonna do this question to SL, because SL talks a lot about classic rappers. You know, say 90 rappers. So I asked him, are there any new dudes that you actually like? So I want him to put that on the table now. What new rappers post 2006? I need at least 10 years. At least in the last 10 years. What new rappers that came out in the last 10 years that you like?
The only thing that come to mind is J. Cole.
J. Cole. Wow.
J. Cole. And also, if we talking about, because there's a lot of rappers that came out earlier in 2007, but I wasn't aware of them until post that, if that makes any type of sense. You see what I'm saying? So, but I wouldn't really count them. You see what I'm saying? But it's a lot of rappers that I started listening to after that I wasn't, you know what I mean? That I
but
really
not that came out. Not that came out.
That came out. So, I mean, J. Cole, you know what I'm saying? Like you know, I mean, I like the like, you know, I definitely like the Rhapsody. I definitely like the Rhapsody stuff. You know what I mean? I definitely like the you know what I'm saying? I like the Nipsey Hussle stuff.
Okay.
I definitely like the Nipsey Hussle. I like the man, you know what I mean? See, cause a lot of people, man, they kind of came and went. You know what I mean? Shoot. Man, those the only that really come to mind. I mean, it's man. It's just nobody has really came to pass that's kind of legendary. A lot of people had 1 or 2 songs and they buzzed a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But it's like they didn't put out for the you know what I'm saying, for the long haul. You know what I mean? And it's really hard to, you know, and I'm sure, you know what I mean, you got like a lot of, you know what I mean, you know what I'm saying, rappers in Brooklyn, the guy, I ain't talking about 6ix9ine, man. I'm talking about the I mean, Casanova straight too, man. Casanova, you know what I'm saying? See, I like that shit, man, because it's to the point. You know what I'm saying? It's right to the point. You know what I'm saying? But am I actively listening to him like that day to day? No, I'm not. I'm not actively checking it out for the next one. You know what I mean? Because if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But it's like a lot of rappers that where I feel like that's pure, like, you know, lyrical hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It, you know, 90s was that peak for it, and quite frankly, like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't get like I didn't get all of the 90s shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't get all of that shit. Like I got, you know what I mean, like just a little tip of it. You know what I'm saying? About time when I started to really get conscious of it is when it went away. So really, I'm just trying to research half the time. Like I'm just researching. I ain't really lived through the 90s, if that makes sense. Like I didn't live through that shit.
I lived through that shit. The 90s, the 90s project shit. That's the shit I actually seen. I ain't see that. No,
I didn't live through them. Like when Tupac and shit, when niggas was buzzing, like in 94, 95, nigga, I wasn't listening to that. I wasn't even like I didn't really get conscious of Tupac until like 7th grade, like 8th grade, like that's like 98, and then 98, then that's when you seen like DMX and like I seen Rough Riders and you know
I wasn't conscious of DMX. I mean,
that's just what I seen. You know what I mean?
DMX was the number one when I was in junior high school.
Yeah, DMX was ill.
Yes.
And then, you know what I mean? Then you had Mason and Diddy and all of that because it was post Biggie. It was post Pac. But with Pac, I wasn't even conscious in Pac.
No, I wasn't. When he died, I remember little kids in
No, when he died, I remember that shit. No, I remember because my peoples was talking about it. It was talking about it.
But did you really know what that meant? You heard about it though.
Yeah, I know what it meant for hip hop. I know that Tupac got shot, and I know that damn, I couldn't believe that this shit happened. Cause that was like one of the first that like an artist that level just died like that. You know what I'm saying?
But
so
why? But why?
Yeah.
But why? Why did Tupac die?
Tupac died because, quite frankly, man, like if you seen, I don't know if y'all seen that Vlad interview with Ayanna Jackson, the woman that claimed that he raped her. But that, a lot of Pac's, you know what I mean, the negative downhill, the negative energy that happened to him, it kind of started from there, man. You know what I'm saying? It really started from there. Like, you know, that is
saying to understand where you're going in hip hop, you got to understand where it came from, where it went. Understand where it's going.
You know what I'm saying?
So we're analyzing the past and see how we can take it into the future. What's next?
Because see, like with me, it's like, yo, man, if you hit that level, like J. Cole is on a little bit higher level than Kendrick Lamar. To me.
Really? Wow.
Like, but he's only like 5 points to 1 notch higher. He's not a lot higher. He's only like a 0.5 or a notch higher. See, but when I say that, you got to understand the perspective that I'm looking at it from. And I'm looking at it from is the pure hip hop, the original perspective. How like, okay, if I'm listening to metal music, it's a perspective from that. What makes this metal the top metal? What makes this rock and roll? What makes it a whack rock and roll song? What makes it a good rock and roll song? We don't know if you don't play rock and roll. It's a perspective. But the perspective is a whole collective body of work. You know what I'm saying? And it's and it's not like the thoughts is pure. What I say by pure is not nothing where I don't have to like really as soon as I hear it, usually it's universally accepted, and it's not to where it's like you're trying hard to do it. Like a lot of the Kendrick, like the subject matter is perfect, but it's the structure of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like he overthinks it. You see what I'm saying? And you can tell. But only certain people that have the ear can tell. The common listener would never notice anything because they're just a common listener. They're not listening for all of that. You know what I'm saying? And really how hip hop, as of, what's being played is nothing. They're not listening for that. That's not what it is. It's melody and flow and the beats. You know what I'm saying? Which is to hip hop peers is depressing. It's depressing. It's very depressing when you don't have the lyrics there. The lyrics play a major role. You know what I'm saying? Because without the lyrics, you have nothing. You know what I'm saying? But it's J. Cole definitely with the storytelling and just the effortlessness of his flow. It seems like that, and I would definitely put him like a 0.5 to a notch higher than your boy Kendrick. Not saying that Kendrick is not nice. Like Kendrick is nice. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick has talent. You know what I mean?
So have you heard? So you're saying that they don't represent the true potential to what hip hop can become.
Exactly.
So where have you heard it though? Have you heard better from newer guys?
From newer guys?
Other than Kendrick and J. Cole?
What's the guy in New York, in Brooklyn?
A Boogie?
Nah.
Dave East. Nah, Dave East is Queens. My bad.
Nah. But he's a little bit. I guess he would be a little bit older now. Your boy, I can't recall, but it's. I guess if I can't recall, then he's not really there. Then you see what I'm saying? So it's that right there. You know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean? I know that the bars is ill, but if I can't recall it, then whatever. So, but yeah, Dave East, I would say Dave East is crazy, but Dave East he's very local to it. You know what I mean? It's not like, I don't see like, okay, when you saw like a Big L, even if you seen all the other rappers, it was like today, but you know that nigga was on a different level. Why he was on a different level? But it's because of his ability to convey his thoughts precisely to the point to where you know what he's talking about as soon as he spits it. If a listener got to be like, yo, what the fuck you just say? Then that shit was kind of whack.
Let me look up something. Facts. No bad.
Then that, you know what I mean? What the fuck you just say? Yeah, that shit was whack. So that's not ill. That's not from technically prototypical hip hop music. You understand? So prototypical hip hop music will, like, will always have like some type of theme or subject matter of, the dealing with like coming from something, from nothing, coming out from some type of struggle, or because these guys didn't really have anything when they,
some rap shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like when they started hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So you always have to keep it with the essence, and elevate was already there. You cannot create your own rules. But a lot of artists are trying to create their own rules, but in essence it's creating a whole new genre. Which is nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
It's cool. If you enjoy music for entertainment, then it's entertainment. I understand that. I'm not hating on that.
Hell no.
Some people just look at it as just music. That's all it is. Michael Jackson wasn't trying to tell you nothing deep.
Actually, Michael Jackson was.
He had some sort of consciousness to him.
Listen, I'm gonna give you an example of Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Remember the video with the Egyptian theme.
Yeah, remember the time.
Remember the times. The whole cast was black. He employed everybody on there. You know what I'm saying? Like Michael Jackson, they don't care about us. Michael Jackson was super. He told you about your boy Natola, right? You know what I'm saying? About these dudes are savages. All they doing is raping everybody. He was like Prince on that level. Like Prince knew. Prince was conscious. Michael Jackson, towards the end, Michael Jackson got conscious. He was scared to eat. He was scared to eat anything because they thought he was gonna get poisoned. Like Michael Jackson was very paranoid on that level.
They said Prince was too.
They were very paranoid on that level.
They said Prince was too.
They knew, but as far as type of music, Michael Jackson definitely. Now, Michael, if you know about the energy, right? Now, to make music, you have to have a certain energy. Michael Jackson was part of that pan energy. That I think Frankie Lyman, if I'm not mistaken, he came off on it was a movie that came out that exposed, I think it was him, about him. He was a sex addict and had a whole bunch of girls, and they didn't focus on his music, and that down his career. That energy came into Michael Jackson as a young boy. That's why he was young, and he was dancing around like he was older. You know what I'm saying? They said that he was dancing beside it was a broke washing machine in a house. You know what I'm saying? In the wash area, and it was broke, so it was moving funny, and it was like a beat. And as a toddler, Michael Jackson would just dance to that. So it was always in him just to do all of that. if you understand the numerology behind Michael Jackson's birthday, right? If you reduce Michael Jackson's birthday to a 40, to a single digit, it becomes 6. He's a 42. So 4 plus 2 is 6. So he's a 6. So 6 is all about love and beauty and kids and family, and he always had family issues, family problems, because he was one that's making the most money in all his family. He couldn't even do his solo project. His family was mad that he was doing Off the Wall, that he was trying to be solo. No, why you trying to lead a family? Keep it in here, Mike. Come on. No, I just want to do my solo. I just want to make music. They didn't, and Michael Jackson wanted just to play basketball. Dick Gregory said on one of the interviews, Dick Gregory, rest in peace, Dick Gregory. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Dick Gregory, man. Dick Gregory, gosh. But he just wanted to play ball. Yeah, he was like, he just give him a ball. He seen other kids play ball, play baseball, and Mike had to go into the studio and make music. And he didn't want to do that. He was he's a kid. But to see that was his life path, was to do that. You see what I'm saying? So, and with that 6th energy, it gifted in music, in service, and in being of a help, too much of a help, and loving everybody and everything. You know what I'm saying? So that really was Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it, Mike, he died under mysterious circumstances. You know what I'm saying? It's still mysterious. You under digs? We really don't know. We really can't assume, because shit, like what? Within a week before, he was dancing. Like he was on stage, like, you know what I'm saying? Like killing it. Like he was like usually doing. So, and then the week later, or a couple, I don't remember the exact details, but I know very soon after that, like it was, he's dead. You know what I'm saying? So it's mysterious. It's a Prince. He was poisoned. It's mysterious. It's always mysterious circumstances. You understand? But it's not for really us to really we could really talk about all of this all day long, you know what I mean, and really go in. But
Amen. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Can I so shit, I want to practice something. Nah, I don't know, should I practice a poem? I can practice my next
piece. What do y'all want us to talk about right now?
Somebody to say amen.
You know what I mean? Perfect.
They say agree with what the fuck you saying.
Yeah, we just keep keep it going, natural conversation. So yeah, so like, you know what I mean, and right now, like for example, like the whole 6ix9ine thing, right? Now you have a dude that
and you sent me the video. He was in LA. He claimed to be in LA on some thug shit.
Yo,
it's like,
come on, son. Let's address this 6ix9ine situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, number one, you do music, right? And you're an artist, and you know what I mean, nobody's gonna really get mad whatever you do, especially in these times, type of music you do. They gonna, you know what I mean, as long as you got confidence in yourself, they gonna roll with it. You gonna roll with it. Right now, if he continues to lose money at a certain rate, you know what I mean, you're not gonna get booked.
And you understand? You see the video where he got swung on at the airport.
Yeah, he got swung on.
When he actually came to LA.
Yeah,
they don't even know who it was. But it's pretty much they trying to send a message like it's on site.
It's on site. But see, the thing about it, when you put a lot of that shit in the air, in the energy, you talk a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't one of them niggas that's like not gonna talk shit. I don't know, for some strange reason, he's on probation, number one. He's on probation. He's talking all of this shit willingly. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's almost like you're threatening these niggas, and then you're gonna create a situation to where your niggas is gonna approach you. That's why all your shows is canceled.
That actually leads into the fucking poem I was gonna do next time. But it's like the ones who gave us Christianity were the last to behave Christ-like, and we were the first. That's the first line in Overboard bars. And I break it down like, you know, this is some real shit. The ones who gave us Christianity were the last to behave Christ-like, and we were the first. But if you understand African teaching, which hip-hop is supposed to be teaching African teaching, we are supposed to behave Christ-like. That's the African way. You know, respect each other, treat each other as you would want to treat yourselves. You know, that peaceful stuff that Christianity teaches us. That's really African teaching. That's how we as black people are supposed to interact with each other. So when we start interacting with each other on a whole completely different frequency, we're not doing it the way that we're supposed to. We're simply not supposed to come at each other with that type of energy. Unfortunately, you're put in a position sometimes where you have to, but you're not supposed to. That shit is destructive. And hip-hop's not supposed to teach destructive energy.
You see that, and that brings me
but
to...
But it embodies it because that's where it comes from.
But see, and that brings me to that just because you quote unquote conscious don't mean that like you're thinking the right way. You see what I'm saying? Like you cannot be conscious and think the right way and be better off than a person that's quote unquote conscious and the information or you know the understanding that you're supposed to get from it is not feeding in the right way, then it's useless to you. It's just nothing but intellect, and it sits in the intellect. So it's when you always increase your intellect, or you know the intellect can be said as the ego or the consciousness. It's all the same thing. Consciousness is synonyms for ego, synonyms for intellect. You know, all interchangeable. So when you increase that, you actually increase the problem. You see what I'm saying? So the very problem, because you know it's a thing where it's a tool. It's not meant to be used 24/7 all of the time. If you notice, like kids and children are always usually happy and usually like in bliss, and that's because of like they haven't built up their intellect or their consciousness to a level which is on a brainwave scale is beta brainwaves. So you have beta, then under beta you have alpha, then under alpha you have theta, then under theta you have delta. Delta is the sleep state. So when you sleep, you in delta, right? So right up under, right above delta, you in theta. Kids are usually in alpha mode. So I know a lot of
you saying we're supposed to be in alpha, but
alpha
we're in beta.
mode, right? You know what I'm saying? So alpha, yeah, and you really kind of took the words out of my mouth because, like, really alpha. Most kids you see are in alpha mode. Okay, as an adult, most adults, because of stress, things of that nature, most adults dealing, I guess bills and stuff like that. Most humanity things. Just human endeavors, that increases your brain waves, and that turns it into a beta, and you're more analytical, you're more logical, more practical, but you're in a higher brain wave. You want to be in gamma, which is higher than beta, but it's more of like, but you have to get the alpha to get the gamma. You can't get that gamma from beta. You have to get into alpha mode, but what brings you into alpha? Meditation, watching the movie, even driving, like driving long distances, like your brain will get into alpha mode. A lot of times you'll get there and you won't even consciously be driving. You're automatically just doing it. So like a lot of people watch Black Panther, you watch that movie, you become in alpha mode. You get into the story, you know what I mean? Your brain wave, that's really an impressionable wave state. So when you're in alpha mode, that's how you can brainwash yourself, right, to do whatever you want to do. So, but you can't do it from beta. You have to get into alpha. Most people are stuck in beta, and that's their problem. But going back into alpha, in alpha male, beta, that's on that higher level. Stressed out, you know what I mean? You arguing back and forth, things of that nature.
So let me ask this. You talk about Black Panther. I'm going to turn this into a conscious discussion real fast. Conscious question. All right, so this the reason why I had to get off Facebook for a while with the Black Panther shit. This shit pissed me the fuck off. There's so many black people out there that are like, okay, y'all can get together and spend all this money on this movie that's still owned by white people, but y'all can't get this shit together and put all this money into black business. You know, and which is like, okay, that's a valid question. That's a valid question. At the same time, what fucking black business do we have that's on the level of a fucking Black Panther movie? We don't have nothing on that quality. We as black people need to improve the quality of what it is that we put out in order for us to really claim to support black business. We got to put out the quality of something of that nature, and we're not there yet. I feel we are going to get there because we're playing from the back. That's something that we have to understand. We are playing from the back. It's not going to be today. It's going to be 10, 15, 20 years from now if we put this shit into our kids. The kids are, the next generation is what's going to fucking make it work. So we have to put this shit into the next generation. And then that generation is going to put the shit into that generation. And then everything will be different. If we stop teaching each other, that's when it's going to fade. But we need to keep teaching each other. Not fight and argue. Not fight and argue. That's pointless. We're just constantly teaching each other.
Well, see, the fighting and arguing come from the consciousness. That's the ego. The ego constantly is in comparison with things outside of itself. When you stop comparing yourself with other people, that's when you start developing yourself, and then your sense of knowing increases. Your sense of knowing is the purpose of why you're here on this planet, or this earth, or whatever you want to call where you at, this flat earth, round earth, whatever you at right now. You breathing oxygen, you breathing air right now. So if you breathe in air, then your purpose is to basically increase your sense of knowing, not thinking or believing, knowing. So when you know things, you don't have to debate nobody. You don't have to talk to nobody about it. You don't have to always consciously, somebody say something, you got 100 words to say on it. You know what I mean? You don't really have anything to say. Why? Because you already know. You see what I'm saying? So it's a sense of knowing. That is spirituality. That's consciousness. That's that's an enlightenment, moment in that, when people get to that type of level. But it's a thing where, okay, as far as supporting black business, right? All right, yo, check this out. Black people can, now, I agree with you to a certain extent, okay, as far as black people, they went out and supported the Black Panther. Wow, they did all of this, but they can't support black business. Yeah, right? Gotcha. Facts. But check it. Black people, just like right now, like every other people on this in this country, they are basically consumers. Okay, in a holistic sense. High level consumers. So now, if you're looking at it from that, from that type of lens, okay, you have to look at this from a certain lens. So you look at it from that lens. I'm a business owner, I'm a black business owner. More blacks, should be, focusing on my product, or, supporting my business and supporting my products. So, why they're not supporting my products. And
we understand this as a fact, that it's just that black people in this country don't have the front money. As what you look at business from outside in, you can do business if you have front money. So we as black people need the front money first before we can do that. So it's a process. And the point is that we are continuing on that process. It's a process. Don't break away from the process. It's a process.
Right. Well, see, what happens is it comes from a culture.
Yeah, mommy needs to
So basically, the culture is embedded in simply the development of financially of a group of people. So, for example, if you go into New York, you have Chinatown, you have Little Italy, okay? You have certain areas that's designated for certain cultures, right? There's no black towns, there's no black, designated areas, right? Okay, so now, we look at the landscape. Now we have to look at it from a mundane level. If you stay in the South, you stay in, North Carolina, South Carolina, where, Virginia below, the landscape starts to get a little bit different. Everything starts to widen out.
Dad, is the back
everything starts to widen out.
Dad, is the back in here?
Hmm?
Mommy wants to know if the back was in here. The back of the charger.
It makes it harder for people to communicate with the wider landscapes. The whole thing, if you look at back to slavery, just rewind, because you have to look at how humans communicate just without internet. Most people are so used to internet, they couldn't even imagine life without even texting. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? No text? Yeah, no text. You know what I mean? It's like, just think about this. Like, people have to really think on a mundane level. How do people spend their money? Where do they go, usually? How far do they travel to get there? Okay? Now, usually in black businesses all over the nation, they're usually in spots here and there. Most black people will have to travel past a couple spots, a couple stores that they could have gotten the product from that's non-black, and to get to that black product. Most black people, they think logically, so they say, well, logically, I'm wasting gas and all this other type poverty consciousness type stuff. And that deters them from doing, you see, it's not, we don't have a type of culture in that sense, which is great because it's easy to make one. The more you don't have one, the easier it is to make one. You know what I'm saying? It's always solutions. So everything's always good. You know what I'm saying? It's no bloom and gloom. Everything's always good. And what pretty much we have to do, if you look at it, anything social, black people would take on that form and they created it. Like, they have something called Black Twitter. Like, why do you have Black Twitter? Like, think about this.
It's not even a Black Twitter website. It's just a subsection of Twitter you got to find. Well, we can make our own Black Twitter. We could. If we had the startup money. Come up with some shit that's going to be Black Twitter. And now all black people are on this new shit, this new form.
Yo, go on Black media. Spot, man. That's the new black version
Spot.
Of Facebook. Black Spot.
It's not going
BLAQSPOT.
But if everybody, it's something that everybody got to rush to as black people. And that's something that we can learn in the future. If we teach this shit into our kids and not allow them to continuously remove the shit from the consciousness of our children. That's why I'm so Migos. Some people like entertainment. Okay. But at the same time, what are we teaching our kids? This shit is poisoning our kids. That's just the real. Yeah. They can have that as an escape, but at the same time, like, if you want that for enjoyment, okay, but don't let that be the only shit that they hear. Sometimes you just want to fucking feel like you're cooking up crack. Sometimes you may want that feeling for a second. I can't be in the big ass club, but let me feel like I'm in the big ass club right now. I understand that shit. It's necessary for people. But don't let that shit be the only shit that's out there. Because then these kids will think that's the only thing that's out there. And that's not reality. It's not reality. But you got kids looking at fantasy thinking that is reality. And
it needs to be, and you know, the debate that comes up is the effect that music has on society. So if these people, they're looking at it from a business standpoint, they're in the music business. The key word is business. So they're trying to get a guarantee. They're trying to get a guarantee with a goddamn cherry on top. You feel me? So man, what these people are trying to do, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to get motherfucking, you know, if you look back in the 90s, for example, the big thing in like the late 90s was like collabos, you know what I'm saying? Collabos, because it was a guarantee. It was like, okay, like if for example, if Busta Rhymes, right? Okay, like your man Spliff Star, he on the track, okay, that's called a collabo. Okay, so that solidifies you. So that's guarantees a certain amount of sales, right? So all they looking for is a guarantee. You know what I mean? So in that type of business sense, that's the opposite of an artistic mind state.
But you understand, music is business. Music is still business. It's business.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson is still business. All that shit, as music as it was, is still all of it is business. The industry is a business. You can't take it. You can't take it too seriously because it is a business.
Right.
That's really what it is.
But see, it's a business that artists have to input creativity inside of the business. You see what I'm saying? So that's what's happening. Currently, creativity is being inputted.
If you could throw on some
it has
beats,
to be inputted.
We're in the shit with a fucking freestyle session. Just
freestyle session now.
Freestyle it out. If you could throw on some beats and shit.
Yeah, man. I'll throw on some beats or something, man. We'll, you know what I'm saying? We'll see what's good.
A little, I think healthy, conscious discussion and shit. Niggas need that shit.
Yeah, healthy, conscious discussions, man. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you something about? Can I spoil some of Black Panther for you to maybe see what you thought?
I know that the whole storyline.
You're going to look at it on an extra conscious level.
Yeah, of course.
You're going to analyze it on an extra conscious level.
Yeah.
And what is the message? What is it teaching me? And I could ask you something, but I said at the same time I don't want to spoil it. I don't. Yo,
what you got, dog?
Understand the message and the things that we teach. Understand there's a reason why we preach. Understand there's a reason why I have to reach to get into your mind with each of my speech. Cheers. Everybody listen. Understand this, man. I'm on a mission, not looking to be forgiven for the sinning that I did to get to a spot where I'm winning. Yeah. And I'm still going there without fear, without care. Matter of fact, I got brown so hot that you'll leave without hair. Cause all that shit will be burnt. Understand the spot is always turned. A lot of things that we learned.
Yeah. Yeah, it's to be learned. Now it's my turn. I'ma put them in the urn. This is my turn. I'ma burn like a Mob Deep track. This by Havoc. Nigga, you can hear me rhyme. I'm like an addict. Lyrical. Yo, my rhymes is so spiritual. Try and defeat me. It'll take a miracle. That's for sure. Yo, I'm ready for war. Spell that backwards. That's what I spit. That raw. Like sushi. Something get to you. Go through you. Like diarrhea. Wouldn't wanna be ya. See ya. Give you 2-piece like Wendy's. Yo, with that fries on the side. I'm the best. Like Tally Quali trying to get by. I give you middle finger on Twitter though. For real though. I'm the best when it come with the flow. This is SLP, yo, you already know. Yo, SL Perion with that high style. Spitting nothing but hot balls. Everything like wow, this is just a freestyle. I ain't even write it. but I'm still hyped just like a Black and Mild. I be doing it. These niggas still just pursuing it. Like LL Cool J, yeah, I'm doing it. That's an old school type bars that you need to hear. Bust nothing but high flows, nigga, every year. Dog, I'm on a circle like a spear. Everything I do, man, I do it with no fear. Yeah, yo, I'm on point like a spear. Yeah, I eat these rappers like a pear. Nothing but fruits. Dog, I'm on a different computer. I leave their ass on mute. Yo, my style so sick, it'll make you wanna puke. Leave them all blue like that team at Duke. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you killing with the lyricism. So right now, I gotta show y'all the wisdom. I gotta give them something that will split them in two. I ain't talking about laughing, I'm talking about action. What you're hearing right now is passion. This is me in the flesh, homeboy, I'm not acting. Nah, I'm just spazzing on the microphone.
So they can't see or hear you?
Can't see or hear you. What?
What the fuck? Damn. I'll try it again.